Murderer is a woman. Could be. You never know. Blood, right hand and wrist. The carotid wasn't slit. Victim had her... Maybe? Was a mezzaluna. What's a mezzaluna? Maybe Vanna? Oh, it is put her hand on her throat, apparently. Thin. There we go. Thank you, walkthrough.
We have two possibilities. The first is that Liz Stride's killer and the attacker, seen by Schwartz, were one and the same man. The second is that Liz Stride meets a client. After some discussion, they head towards Duffy's.
I always like to have a bit of a discussion before I go with a prostitute. I mean,
the attacker appears.
I'm sure some people do like to
Schwartz's arrival
talk about that.
dissuades the two men from lingering. They leave the area and leave Liz Stride in a tense state, but glad to have kept her client. He will be her murderer. Both hypotheses are possible, but an incongruous detail will serve to corroborate one of them. An incongruous detail that we were able to establish regarding the Hanbury Street murder. Which one would that be, Watson? Look at the victim carefully, Watson, and tell me the link between the murder of Liz Stride and those of Nichols and Chapman.
It's the pastels. It's always the pastels.
The bag of pastels, Holmes?
Oh, yes.
The bag of pastels. Indeed, Watson. If this woman had to defend herself against an attacker, why would she have held onto this bag in her hand? It didn't fall
Because they are
this
more
woman's
valuable
hand
than
tensed
gold.
at the moment when she fell to the ground. Therefore, Watson, we know the killer distracted his victim's attention by making them take something out of their pockets. Why didn't he slit her throat like the others? He must have feared a struggle with a strong-willed woman. Why didn't he eviscerate her? Because Louis Diemschutz arrived.
Good for you, Louis
Do you
Diemschutz.
think the Whitechapel killer is behind this murder, Holmes?
Yes, and now this murder has been linked to its rightful perpetrator, it will take on deeper meaning when we have examined the facts from that night. Let's go to Mitre Square, where Catherine Eddowes was killed. And make haste, Watson, as we have another murder to commit in 40 minutes.
If someone's overhearing this conversation, we have another murder to commit in 40 minutes. So,
Here we are,
the
Watson,
truth is
at Mitre
revealed.
Square. It took us a mere 20 minutes to get here. If the killer left Dudfield's yard around 1 o'clock, as we assume, he would have arrived here at around 1:20 a.m. We know that Catherine Eddowes' body was discovered at 1:44 a.m. Catherine was released from prison around 1 o'clock, but we have no information as to what she could have been doing
What's
until
she
her
in prison
death.
for, I wonder?
This place has 3 possible ways out. Let's see where they lead. As a precaution, I brought an old map of the area with me. It will help us get our bearings.
Made in ye
Let's
oldie
hurry,
times.
Holmes. This neighbourhood makes me ill at ease.
It will have all of our carriages up on bricks by the end of the night. Okay. So there's Mitre Street, St James's Passage, and Church Passage. Okay. I'm guessing this is Church Passage.
Church Passage. It must be opposite the Imperial Club at 16 to 17 Duke Street. Let's go to
I have
the
a
end of this
photographic
lane,
memory of
Watson.
everywhere and what everything is opposite against. Oh my god, it's getting dark. If you can't see shit, neither can I, folks. Dun, 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 dun.
Hello, you must be Abraham Solomovich.
He's
am I
back.
right?
Yes, that's me. But I know you. You brought a lad to my place to take care of a cat. And I loaned you my mask.
That's me. May I present?
Dr. Watson, of course. Delighted. And you? I have known for a few days that you are a detective.
Apparently his disguise
by
was
the
fool
name
nobody.
of Sherlock Holmes. Is that so?
You don't miss a thing, do you? It was the children who gave me away. Am I right?
They didn't want to, but I gained their confidence by offering them a small comb and
Okay, there's a whole
They made
new
good
set of
deal
charges
of it,
being
so I
dealt
don't
out
blame you.
here.
However, I must request, as a personal favour, that you do not reveal my identity.
you have my word. Curiosity is just killing me.
Oh god, there's a
May
murderer
have
around. He just said that.
Would
Tempting
it be
fate.
breaking an oath to confide in me the nature of the investigation that you are leading?
Does this spot where we are now in Mitre Square mean anything to you?
A demon lives in this city, Mr. Holmes. These
Wow.
unmentionable acts degrade the human race and put the Jewish community in terrible danger.
Lots of rumours are circulating, but they are but rumours. I see you're leaving the Imperial Club. It's a stone's throw away from Mitre Square, and the 2 recent murders were most probably discussed in there. Do you know if anyone from the club saw or heard anything that night?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. That night, 3 members of our club saw a woman talking to a man at the very spot where we are
I think
standing.
that after all these murders,
A
people may
few
take a
minutes
bit more
before the
interest in
body
what's
was
going on.
found at the end of this passage. Fantastic, Holmes.
Calm yourself, Watson. There is nothing at the moment. to
Calm
suggest
down,
you're
take the
convicted.
pills.
Can we meet these members?
I am afraid that won't be possible. As soon as the police heard the evidence of these men, they were sworn to silence.
I understand.
But you are working for the good, and I must tell you what I know. One of the 3 men, my friend Joseph, left that night with 2 other members of the Imperial Club, Harry and another
There's
Joseph.
Josephs everywhere.
It was around 1:35 a.m., perhaps a bit earlier, when Joseph,
Oh
not my
god.
friend, but the other, the
They're
Aldgate
everywhere.
exited, he saw a man and a woman in discussion at this very spot where
Look, he's telling me this
These
again.
men must have been about 16 feet away from the couple.
That's about right. So Joseph, the butcher, said to the other 2, while pointing at the couple, "Look, I don't like going home alone when I see this kind of people here." My friend
What kind of
Joseph
people?
looked
Men
at
and
them
women?
without noticing anything strange and didn't understand what he meant. They had the look of 2 rather unkempt people, but
Hippies!
no more than that.
After the murder, did these 3 men tell the police what they had seen?
Not quite. Harry stated that he hadn't seen the couple. As for Joseph, the butcher, even though he was the one who commented on them and pointed them out, said that he couldn't remember anything except that the man was about 3 inches taller than the woman, who was 5 feet tall, no more.
So we
Friend
got the
Joseph,
image
on
of
the other
a
hand, did his
5'5"
best to
and
cooperate with the police.
5'3" man.
And what did your friend Joseph say? What did this man and woman look
Probably
like?
The
right-handed or
man
left-handed.
must have been 30 years old, about 5'7", light complexion, and a fair moustache. He wore a loose, dark jacket, a grey cap, and a red scarf.
It is
around
the
his
doctor!
neck. But he said that he only saw him for a brief instant, and it would be impossible to recognize him.
Isn't it always?
He only saw her from behind.
But that was enough.
She had her hand on the man's stomach and seemed to be pushing him.
Rape alarm!
He said that he remembered that she was small, was
Why
wearing
does that cat
a
just
black
keep making that
jacket
noise in the
and a
background?
hat. After his testimony, the police took him to see the clothing of the deceased, and Joseph said that they looked identical to those of the woman he had seen. Like I already said, he only glanced at the 2 as he was headed with the others in the direction of Aldgate.
One final question. The Imperial Club is a Jewish club, isn't that correct?
Indeed,
Thank you for your help, Mr. Solomonovich.
it was nothing. We must at all costs prevent this demon from striking again. And the police seem to have some difficulty in doing that.
Strikes!
I wish you the best of luck, Mr. Holmes.
This building is the Great Synagogue of London.
Hmm. Yes, I finally found the run button. Apparently there was, according to the thing, there's something over here, or somewhere. There's meant to be a lantern. There it is. Use matches. Where do we get the matches from?
Take the lantern, Watson.
In darkest day and blackest night. Brightest day, blackest night. God damn.
This dark and narrow passage leads to St. James's Place.
Does St. James know about this?
Nothing of interest here.
I can't keep going because of the invisible wall. I didn't know they built those in London. So behind us must be the passage to Mitre Street.
This is Mitre Street, from where Watkins, the constable who found the
Oh,
body,
he came.
Well, let's find the spot where Edow's body was discovered. I have no reason to go that way.
Okay. Where are we going? I'm guessing over here. Can't see
Watson, we are
shit,
now in
can't
the
see
exact
shit.
spot where poor Edow tragically ended her days.
Okay.
This spot is very dark, Holmes.
That is probably why our murderer
Yes.
chose it.
Just probably due to poor programming. Ooh, hello, there's a lot of clues.
Do these objects spread out by the victim remind us of anything, Watson?
The items. The murderer is a woman. These objects were before the murder. I'm guessing they came before. And as murderers are transvestites, they're fetishists. Those goddamn fetishist transvestite killers, they're everywhere.
A thimble is located right beside one of the victim's hands, just like Chapman's sachet of pills and Stride's pastils. The inside of the thighs is clean. Once again, there were no sexual relations between the victim and her murderer.
Well, at least it's not that bad then.
Part of this apron is missing. We will follow up on that shortly. The main incision goes from the sternum all the way down to the groin.
Oh,
The
wonderful.
murderer opened this abdomen as if it were an animal carcass. A kidney was removed. The uterus was removed.
It's Charlie the Unicorn, the London Victorian edition.
These intestines were pulled out altogether to grant access to the abdomen.
Ooh, lovely.
The head is turned towards the left. The murderer
Looks like
must
she was
have been
given
on
a
the right
bloody
side
eagle.
of his victim. Let's look at her from the front.
Oh, that's a lovely image.
There is but one wound, Watson.
There is
It
but
goes
one
from the
again.
left side and descends in a slight oblique towards the right side. The nose was cut.
Why?
The eyelids were cut off.
Why? That's just horrible. I mean, I know this is a generally horrible and depraved man, but come on.
The cheeks were slashed to make them thinner. The cheeks were slashed
Yes,
to make
yes,
them
we know.
thinner.
Anything about the ears? Did the ears survive? Is there anything I've missed? No, apparently not.
My goodness, Holmes, it was a slaughter.
Understand, Watson, that our killer had neither the time nor the conditions to bother with the niceties. He had no more than 7
Didn't
or
want to
8
do them any
minutes at
favours
most
after he killed
to
them.
kill the woman, open her up, and all the while in total
So
darkness.
why did he go for the eyes
Holmes,
and the
it's
nose?
a woman, a poor victim you're talking about.
Consider all the time this man lost and the risks that he actually
Yes,
took
he said,
by cutting
I
the
feel
victim's
so
face
sorry
and
for
the
him.
lower abdomen in around 20 precise spots, especially the lungs and the liver. These attacks,
He lost
which
so
I
much
considered
time, that
gratuitous,
poor man. He'll never
are,
get that
in fact,
time
nothing
back.
of the sort, and have as much sense as the removal of the organs. Watson, we must now consult our timeline. We began in Dutfield's yard, but this time we will try to recreate the actions of certain people. In this case, those of the 2 policemen.
I'll get my uniform. $1:30, here we go.
1:30 a.m. P.C. Watkins didn't see the corpse while on his rounds. If P.C. Watkins did his rounds properly, and there is no reason to doubt this was the case, as he discovered the corpse a quarter of an hour later, the murder hadn't yet taken place, and there was no one in Mitre Square. unless they were hidden among the shadows.
The Batman strikes
Enter
again.
Mitre Square via Mitre Street, Watson, and stop and try to see me with the lantern. I will be where poor Edow's corpse was.
And that's when Jack the Ripper killed Sherlock Holmes.